Achieving the ultimate creative self. Sometimes you can do this accidentally. It might be in a smile at someone you love. It might be in a moment and something that you love doing. It's like a superpower that you tap in for just that 1 second. A stream of the immortal that's inside of you. That's beneath millions of years of evolution. From the first cataclysms of this planet, in those moments, humans would come to be. You would come to be. So yeah, finding that expansive creative self is in there. Putting yourself in the elements, putting yourself in activation, in nature. Getting lost in everything that you ever hold dear, that you ever will hold dear to yourself. Brings out the ultimate creative self. And yeah, you can, if you're wanting to achieve some success with your creativity, you could always follow suit from example, from people you know, friends, from social media, and you could find moderate success in that. But it always will bring you to a certain level, and you will feel like you haven't achieved what you're longing for. Because we all have a longing. Every single one of us has a longing for something. And a lot of people just block it out and they ignore it. But I'm talking to that one person right now that really wants to bring out the greatest experience that they could achieve. The greatest experience to really see themselves, to really find the mirror of the universe that's reflecting their ultimate achievements. And your subconscious knows it. Your subconscious knows it's searching. And it's throwing up flags, it's throwing up all these things and bringing it your way. And your compass is a little bit narrow-minded. It's a little bit fixated on one thing right now, but when you really just give in to what you love, when you really give in to the vastness of being lost and being in love, then you're able to accept what that deep subconscious is showing you. You're able to accept what that ultimate creative self that's dug way deep down in the chamber of your genetics. It's down there, you know. And once you become a miner for that, you know, kind of like a miner for the heart of gold, well, this one's a miner for the creative gold. And achieving a heart of gold is perks of that. So don't doubt yourself for 1 second. You're going to have all these obstacles that come up, you know, that just come along and throw you in a derail, just totally derail you from everything that you're trying to achieve. But just remember that there's always a way. And I know that's cliche, and you've heard it a million times. And there's always a way, but what is the way? You know, you start throwing yourself out there with every way possible, and it starts to hurt, and you start to just get frustrated. The frustration builds up. But just remember this, every piece of scenery that you've ever seen with a beautiful house on, you might go for a drive and see some ruins or a castle, or you might see this house that's like perched up perfectly on this piece of land, and you're going, oh, that's nice. And those places are devotion. that is a piece of creativity that was expressed with love. And what they went through to put that house there or to build that castle there may have took lifetimes. It may have been the vision of one person that was casted down to the next and to the next. And then you might be the person that comes along to put that vision together. So what's inside of you, what you're feeling, this ultimate creative self that's trying to come out, is generations long. It's a longing that's been in your bloodline for a very, very long time. It's something that's been handed down. It's something that's been given. Now, you can accept these gifts, these wonderful gifts that have been given to you, or you can deny them, and denying them can cause harm to you. And I mean, you don't have to accept every deep gift that's been given to you and try to embark on it. Just pick one that you truly feel that's calling to you and act on that. Trying to do too many can lead to, can spread you thin, it can spread you out, can wear you down, can give you exhaustion. So picking that one deep creative expression that's trying to come out will definitely give you happiness and a sense of completement. Because we're not trying to be perfect here. We're not trying to perfect your creative gift. We're just trying to complete it. And you may complete many in your life. But there's always that one you're trying to complete, the jigsaw puzzle that you can't quite put together, that you've embarked on maybe many times in your life, and possibly recently over the past 10 years. I know that I have. So, completing that puzzle, completing those pieces that are deep inside the chamber, the archaeology that you're trying to uncover, the artifacts of the deep creative self. Getting there and finding them and respecting them is key. And once you get there, you're going to be lost. It's going to be next to impossible to get it to the rest of the world. It's going to be a fight and a battle to get it off that deserted island that you're stuck on, from going so far within, from going so deep without. You may have all these sacrifices that you lined up that you've had to sacrifice time and time again. And people, they put a question mark on you. They think you're confused. They think they don't want to deal with you. But just like any incredible storm that comes along in the ocean, that comes to be, we see it as difficulty and we do not like it, but it comes to pass, and the most beautiful outcomes come after that. Sunrises, or the path to the shore comes afloat. So don't feel bad about the things you have missed out on, that you think you've missed out on, from the neglect that you have given to others in your life. It wasn't neglect. It's a harsh word. I don't believe in neglect. I believe in people that are trying to find these parts of themselves from the very beginning of all the cataclysms of existence. And people are trying to find these parts because there's an ultimate meaning to them all, an ultimate meaning. And so don't hold anything against yourself, and don't hold anything against someone else for not showing up or neglecting. Of course, there are people that have done us wrong in life and caused harm. And we have to come to grips with that trauma and learn to forgive. And forgive from a deep spot. And maybe it's forgiveness. It's forgiveness that you're trying to uncover within inside yourself. That's the deep gift of creation. But on embarking and uncovering that forgiveness, you will be given a reward that you can't imagine. A reward that most of us never get to have, but you will. You will find it. You will achieve it. You will give it, and you will get it. The whole world is waiting for you. The whole world is waiting for this cataclysm. I know that sounds brutal, but it's an occurrence of collision where those ultimate creative aspects that you've unearthed deep within inside yourself, and you're bringing it to this force. It's like when you're in two different rivers, you're in one river and the other river is about to collide, and then poof, you hit that second river and it's just like a whole nother world. That's the cataclysm. It's like when you're coming down a mountain and you've had it easy and you know those ridges that are coming up and that are really steep, and you're having to climb down them, and that other self switches on. It feels like a switch, like a collision of your emotions. That's the cataclysm. That's a smaller example, but that cataclysm that you're going to face is one from the beginning of time. It's from the very, very beginning of this creation of this planet. And you are going to echo that, and you're going to see the mirror of that part of yourself. And you're going to become every great aspect of yourself that's been wanting to become. Every emotion that you've downplayed, every single thing that you've doubted is going to have an immense light shine upon it. And when you become this ultimate creative self, it's going to be lonely at first. But then you're going to remember that you're never really alone. You've never been alone. Not to sound harsh, but our suffering and our loneliness is minuscule compared to the immenseness of this universe. And in that, it's finite and it's special. It's polarized. It's polarity. Seeing it from an insignificant spot, but at the same time from an immense vantage point. That is the true occurrence of your existence. So finding that creativity, you can find one stream of it and dig down until you come to a point to where you realize this stream has ran out. And don't turn to social media. Don't turn to people. When this happens, when you run to empty, when you run to empty, right away, that negative self is going to come out. All those downplaying, those insultive aspects of society is going to come out. It's going to be like, oh, you have writer's block, or you're at a block, or you're in a midlife crisis. Oh, all these labels of negativity come out at you. That's all that comes out. That's all you see, because in that slight panic that you find, well, maybe I'm out of my tank is empty. Maybe this is it for me. All it is that there's another surface that's below where you've reached. You have to know how to get to that surface. And finding those chambers that are below the one that you've met ends meet with are a lot easier than you think they are. You have to detach and forget who you were. You have to become lost in the sense of all creation, of everything that has happened, everything that's come to be, from the very beginning of all imagination that has rained down on humanity. Now you say, well, that's immense. That's just, how can you imagine all imagination? Well, if you look at imagination from the beginning of mankind and compare it to the possibility of its imagination, of what imagination is, then you realize how precious and finite it is. There again, falling back into the vast, into the loss, and looking at it at an immense point, but at the same time, a finite disposition. So, when you do this, that's how you step out of yourself. That's how you shed that self that's been running and achieving for these past decade, however long you've gotten to this point to where you believe your creativity is run dry. So, now you're ready to embark. You're ready to go off that ledge. You're ready to completely become lost in a way you've never been lost before. Maybe it's a set of occurrences. Maybe it's something that you fall into, someone you meet, something that happens. Of course, it's the old serendipitous way. But sometimes you have to go further back. Sometimes you have to go back to childhood. Sometimes you have to go back to when the very cataclysm of your birth, when you came into this world, into existence, when you came to be, the very moments, the very first breath that you ever took. Well, how do you remember that? I mean, you can't remember being a baby. You can't remember being these things or coming into creation. So how do you remember? Well, it's not that you have a visualization of remembering when you were a child or a baby, because that's very selfish. To be able to try to remember something that's completely out of touch of your reality, that's basically impossible, because some things do have limits and some things are endless. And you will see real quick those limits, and you will see real quick what those endless parts are of the universe. So you don't want to try to remember yourself as a baby being born, which is completely impossible. And it is impossible. So, and yeah, this is there are rules. So, what you need to do is embrace mothers that are giving birth. Embrace the process of birth, of motherhood, of being in the womb, coming into existence. All those pressures of your world that exist when you come into this existence, on your body, on your flesh. It hits you all at once. There is no easy way out of it. There is no introduction. There is no, hi, welcome, and welcome to life. You're just thrown into this world, and a lot of people see that as harm. A lot of people see that as, that's terrible. But it's absolutely beautiful just to be given something immediately, just to be shown into this world in a way that is harsh, but at the same time necessary. Those are the aspects of finding your birthright, to finding your coming into this existence that will lead you below the barrier of where you came to your dead end of your creativity. Those are the aspects. You have these chain of events of your genetics, of your body, of your mind that have happened to you from the very beginning. And each one that you come to, each one that you find, there is a certain key and understanding to them. Whether it's a time you've experienced pain in a level that that changed your life forever. For me, when I was a child, I was 9 years old, and I thought, well, I'm going to try to race the bus home on my bike and beat everyone, show them how amazing I am. I ended up getting hit by a truck, and I died for a short period of time. And just recently, I reached out to a person that seen me on the bus on the side of the road. in that state when I was dead. And when I talked to her, and it brought me to a sense of who I am. Because I have lost a lot in my life. Everyone has lost. And from the past 10 to 15 years, what I've lost in my life, it's really brought me to accept what I've lost. And what I will continue to lose. And to be grateful and to respect every aspect of love and everyone that has been in my life, and to respect those things. So reaching out to her and talking with her and knowing that I was so fortunate, because at that moment when I was crossing the road and I heard the brakes, I heard the screeching of the wheels. And if I would have looked to my left, I would have died, because my body would have tensed up and the truck would have hit me, and I got hit at 35 plus miles per hour, and I would have been dead immediately. It would have probably broke my spine. But I didn't see anything. I was just so determined to beat that bus, to show all my friends that, hey, I'm amazing. Watch this. And if I would have looked to my left, I would not be here. I've seen a lot of things that didn't make sense, and I'll make another video about all that and my experiences with death. But that changed me in a way, because I remember getting out of, and I was in recovery, at my house, and I remember watching a video or commercials back when they had, cable, and I was watching a commercial, and a lawyer came on there. It was a lawyer advertisement, and the lawyer was like, "Have you been injured in an accident?" And well, let me back up just a little bit further. So there was a couple of commercials before. There was a Dairy Queen commercial, and I remember watching the Dairy Queen commercial, and I was like, I've been to Dairy Queen. I've eaten that. It was like I felt so engaged in that commercial. And then when the lawyer came on, I felt so engaged, and I cried. I remember, yeah, that did happen to me. It was like this whole another aspect of reality came down on me at a very, very young age. And I kept that to myself for a very long time. Actually, until now, recently. I kept that to myself for a very long time. And it may have caused damage to me and made me hurt in ways, because I would see things in people and events, and I would see things that were happening for the worst, and I tried to sacrifice myself and my love to help. But I could not stop those things from happening. And from losing people in my life, I could not stop those things. So now I sacrifice so much of my creativity to fend against that, to try to stop that, because I've become so outside of myself. I've been outside of myself. I've always seen myself in 360 degrees in the people around me and the things that I enjoy. I'm so inspired by just seeing the world. So I was not able to truly love my creative ability. And it's been calling for years and years and years. And I never realized how important it is for the whole entire world, for everyone. It's the same for you. It's so important for everyone. It's so important that you do what it takes to bring this out, to accept the cataclysm of life, to accept all this occurrence and vibration and these deep creative roots that are underlined inside of you. It's your duty. You could start getting we could start really getting egotistical about it, but we don't have to. It just is what it is. That is the very essence of our beings. It's to express and to share and to love and to create. So yeah, that's my standpoint. That's where I'm at now in my journey and my life. It's getting kind of cold up here. I kind of hiked up this mountain and didn't realize how cold it was going to be. I mean, it said it was going to be like 60 degrees, but now it feels like it's a good 58. I guess I get there again on my arrow, just I'm going to go up this mountain and make this video. I don't care. And then next thing you know, I'm like all the way up a mountain. And so I got to be careful with that. I've learned my lesson. But at the same time, that inner child in myself does get carried away and wants to embark on these adventures that bring out this creativity. So always respect the elements and respect what's going on around you, and keep your compass wide open so you can see everything that's trying to come into your life, everything that's happening to you. Because there is a lot of ways to find yourself in harm's way. So you want to avoid that, but at the same time, sometimes you have to go inside and you have to give to that creative ego self and not be so 360 degrees trying to solve every problem around you. Yeah, is this thing on? I think it's on. It's on. It has to be, right? I mean, I'm just sitting here talking to myself then. Yeah, I'm kind of new at this YouTube thing, and so I'm going to make new videos. I'm going to try to post as much as possible. And I do have a lot of creative endeavors and things that I've overcome and that I'm bringing to the world in 2026 and 2027. And I hope everyone gets to experience what I'm bringing and the music and the art. And I hope you do the same thing. And I know you will. I know you're going to get past that barrier. I know you're going to find those deep aspects of existence that have shot you into this reality, and you're going to understand them, and you're going to see it in a way that brings you past those creative stops that are in your life. Because that's who you are. You're absolutely, fundamentally amazing. You are the creativity. You are absolutely ready. So thank you so much, and until next time, I better get off this mountain before I kind of freeze and it gets too late. So thank you.